There's a puppy. Podcast puppy. Look at you. Hi, baby. Hi, podcast puppy. He's a podcast puppy. You gonna chill back here? Okay. That's okay. You can hang out. You can hang out. You're such a good girl. Hello, welcome back to Knit with Anxiety Podcast. My name is Marissa. I'll be your host today. Anxiety's pretty much nil right now. We shall see though. We've got stuff going on today and I have a serious time crunch. So let's see if we can get through all of this. A lot of things are going to be rushed today because I have a time crunch. I've got people coming over. I only have like an hour to record. I cannot be doing my 2-hour recordings this time. And I went on vacation, so there are acquisitions. There are many acquisitions, unfortunately. End of the year, me just likes to buy yarn apparently. But I've got finished objects, whips, a new tiny mini segment called the whip status change is what I'm calling it. So update for things that are changing. And then new cast-ons, acquisitions, and then we'll get into the weight loss anxiety stuff at the end, like usual. Before we get started, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I love hearing where you guys are from and seeing your comments. They warm my heart, especially during the now holiday season. Oh, right. The date of recording is Saturday, November 29th. And hopefully this will go up tomorrow, the 30th. Let's get started, shall we? So, and we will talk about this in a moment. We'll talk about this in a moment. But so we'll start with FOs. I technically finished 3 pairs of socks in this past month. One of them I don't have with me, which I'll have to show it to you via photo over here, because it was a gift from my mother. But let's get started with the first pair, which is the 2 at a time on 2 circulars, number 8 for me for the year. This is my 8th pair of socks for myself. And this is the Knit Picks Felici Country Roads color. And I used one of the mystery minis from my Always Be Kind yarn mini pack that I got last month. And it is definitely a very stark contrast against this color, but I think it's really fun. I'm really quite happy with how they turned out. All my socks I do on a US 1 or 2.25 millimeter needle, just so you guys are aware. Despite being a tight knitter, for some reason US 1 works. And I use a mix of patterns to do, I've kind of, at this point, kind of found the rhythm or recipe that works for my vanilla socks. So I just let the stripes speak for themselves. And I'm very happy with how these turned out. They fit really good, as I would expect, because I did my recipe on them. And they're super fun and very festive for American Thanksgiving. Okay, and these ones don't fit the blockers quite so well, but these are my husband's Felici socks for the month. This is the Felici color Silent Film, along with another one of those Always Be Kind minis that I got in that mystery bag. And these turned out absolutely perfect for him. He loves how they fit. They're great. He's a socks at home person, so he only wears them at home, but he really loves them. They're super comfortable and he wears them all the time. As you can tell, there's already a tiny, it's trying to pill. The yarn is trying to pill, but it's not successfully doing it yet. Okay, and then the third pair of socks that I do not have with me, which are photo is over here in this area. These are the socks for my mother, and I did these on using that Hava some yarn nylon fingering, which is 75/25 merino nylon base, and the color Cranberry Mojito, and I paired that with the Patons Kroy sock, just their standard sock in the color Muslin, to give it that heel toe cuff contrast. I gifted them to her for her birthday last month, or in November, and she absolutely freaking loves them. My mother is very much a knit-worthy person. I think I've given her probably as many knit things as I have for myself at this point. Or at least she's gotten one of almost everything. She's got a hat, a cowl, 2 pairs of socks now, sweater, blankets. Like my mother's very net worthy, especially when it comes to socks. She loves the socks. I made her a pair a couple years ago, and she wears them all the time. So she loves them. She tried them on in the restaurant. She put them on in the restaurant after when I gave them to her. So she absolutely loved them. They turned out great, and I am really shocked. I got 3 pairs of socks done in a month. That's incredible. I probably could have gotten more done if I didn't do this. So I'll have to insert some video here of my husband takes for me, or just at some point. And this is the Marbre by Audrey Borrego, and that was done for the yarn brand Hobbii. And this kind of came about, I think you guys might remember, I think it was last month or maybe the month or maybe back in September, I had purchased a whole bunch of these the Caron Macchiato cakes, and I had gotten, I think 3 of them, or 2, yeah, I think I got 3 of them in the color Boundless. That's what this color is, the Boundless color. And I really, really, really wanted to do like an oversized, very fall-like sweater that I could like wear in, like, if I'm cold in my house, or I can wear it to work and wear it in the office because it gets cold in the office. Because this is my new reality, being this is like my first real winter since losing it's like almost half of what I wanted to lose, and I'm cold. I'm cold all the time. Like there is tea in here, my friends. It's still way too hot to drink, but there is tea in here because it is so cold. I'm frozen. So I wanted to make myself a sweater that was not going to take a whole lot of time. The macchiato cakes are a number 5, or a bulky yarn, and because I'm a tight knitter, I can do it at a worsted gauge. So I believe the Marbre is a worsted pattern, but I did it in the bulky because of my gauge. And I ended up doing it on the majority of it is a US 10, like the main bits, everything but the ribbing is a US 10 or 5 or 6mm needle, and then all of the ribbing was a US 9 or 5.5, and there is it's doing a tiny bit of pilling underneath, but that's because it's a loosely spun 80/20 acrylic wool blend, and it's fabulous. It is a mix of garter and stockinette ridges, so you get this lovely texture, and then you got the ribbing details along the all the way along the collar. And despite the fact that this pattern, the pattern is free on Hobbie's website, I was shocked at the fact that it is a loose representation of a compound raglan. I think it's compound raglan is right. Whatever style of raglan it is that has you do varying varying rates of increase in the body, so that it kind of gets more of an S shape to the raglan lines versus the straight down that you get in a conventional raglan. And you probably can't even see it just because I'm wearing it, but there is a slight curve to all of the raglan lines so that they better fit the body. So it's not like at this size, like I didn't make the largest size, which was a new thing for me. And I'm not entirely sure if it's super size inclusive. I think it only goes up to like maybe a 60-inch bust, which isn't too bad. But it's like, I think you could totally like adjust it if you wanted to. It's very modifiable. Like I actually ended up, like, because the size I chose, the armhole was not going to be deep enough, because I do still have larger arms because of the loose skin and everything. So I ended up adding a few rows, like a few extra rows or a couple extra increases in just the just the armhole section, to enlarge the armholes, and it fits perfectly. Like I'm not getting that really gross bunching you normally see in the underarm area when you're a larger person and you have a sweater on, especially considering this is a bulky weight sweater. But I absolutely love it. It is so freaking cozy. I wore it to Thanksgiving. I was toasty the whole freaking day. It's fabulous. I love the sweater. The yarn was fabulous. It was super soft, and it's great. So, okay, and then the final FO, I made another sock yarn cowl, but there's a twist. So you guys know I have that really basic sock yarn pattern, the Suck Yarn Cowl from Noble Knits that I always link below, and I'm doing like almost every other month or every month, at least one of them, to use up those random like partial balls of yarn. And I had this gradient skein from the blue brick forever, and I just haven't used it, so I wound it up, and I decided I decided this time to actually add some texture to it instead of just being a straight stockinette. And I ended up doing Irish Moss, which is a knit 2 purl 2 for knit 2 purl 2 for 2 rows, and then switch and it's purl 2 knit 2, and you just swap back and forth between the 4 rows. That Irish Moss is one of my favorite textures, other than garter stitch is one of like I love Irish Moss so much. I think it's beautiful, and I just love the texture of it, and this being a gradient skein, it just, I think, made it even better, and it's just great. I'm very happy with how this turned out. It does need to be blocked, so it'll open up significantly when I block it. Like, it'll get a lot whiter, and it's just, the coloring on this is just beautiful. It's a me skein. It's aqua to purple. Like, how can I not be happy with that? I love it. But this is going into my gift cowl pile, and it'll either go to maybe one of my stepsister's children, or it might just go to a homeless shelter. I don't know. But it's going in my gift pile. Okay, and before we continue, I have a note here for myself. Because of the yarn purchases I'm going to show you here in a minute, or in a couple of minutes, I had to buy a new storage container. I will put a photo over here of what it looks like. I found I got some ad on Instagram for something very similar, but I didn't like that it had like specific branding or anything on it. I wanted something that was super, super basic, and was very similar to the hangers I already have. If you see my stash video from earlier this year, you've already seen the hangers that I use. So I found a over-the-door version to put on the back of my office door. So now I have all of this extra stuff. I've relocated some of the yarns that I had that are like inactive projects or planned projects. So like I relocated all of the extra balls for my husband's blanket. Those are all now in that container, in that hanger. I relocated all of the Felici yarns I had like dedicated for my first pair of every month. Like, I think I told you guys last month or month before, I went through all of my existing Felici at the time, and I went through and decided which of those 15 I was going to do each month, and kind of assigned them. So like this month, this, and we will get that later, but this month is the buddy color because it's Christmas color. Last month was the country roads, because it kind of gave that fall Thanksgiving vibe. Like SWAC will be in February, that kind of thing. Those like kind of fits the theme of the month. So I moved all those over, and then like I have an entire section in that container that's just for my contrast minis. So you guys recall last month I got a whole bunch of minis, and I have like a mini bag now. All of those minis are in there, and like if I have a plan for a specific set of minis, they are also over there, so that they're not in the free open yarns. Like, I know those have all of the yarns in that container have a plan for them. And then I'm also using one of the sections for all of my Felici and Patons scraps, so that I have those in designated space. I don't have to worry about them falling or going anywhere, disappearing. That happened last month when I was trying to clean everything, and I misplaced some of them, and I was very irked about not being able to find them. But those are now all over there and pretty, and makes me happy to look at it. And there's another section that's completely open. I haven't done anything with it yet. Not sure if I will. We shall see as things evolve. Now on to whips. As you can imagine, I did not get a whole lot of excess knitting time for whips because of all the socks, the Marbre, and then the cowl, which I finished literally yesterday, Thanksgiving, whatever. And so there's not a whole lot of progress on like anything else. Like, one whip has a status change, which we'll get to in a second here, and then the first one I've got that's still in progress is my husband's log cabin blanket. Last time you saw it, I was where that little marker is. So I've finished one square. and I'm about half done with the next one. So I didn't get 4 squares this done this month. I'm hoping to maybe finish this one tonight or tomorrow so that I can at least have 2 done, and that will only leave me 4, and then all the borders and joining. I don't know if I'm gonna get that done next month. I have no idea. I'm hopeful that I might, but I really don't know. And it's, my husband's okay if the blanket's not done for Christmas. I want it to be done for Christmas so that I can go into the new year and not think about it, but we shall see. We shall see. But so that is the Learn to Knit a Log Cabin Blanket by Staci Perry, or Very Pink Knits. I'm doing that on a US 8 or 5mm needle. The yarn I'm using for that is the Lion Brand Pound of Love in Oxford Grey, Black, Cadet, Sleet, Denim Blue, and Chocolate. Chocolate is the border color, which you have not seen yet. This is unusual. You guys don't normally get to see socks in progress. We were at my dad's for Thanksgiving. I actually took my husband's finished socks with us to have my dad try on, see if they fit him, if he likes the fit of them, if he likes how long the leg is and everything. And surprise, surprise to no one, they fit him perfectly, and he loves the length and everything. So the recipe for my husband works for my father too, which is awesome. So I have started my dad's Christmas pair, and so they are literally the very, very beginning. I have a cuff and a little bit of the yarn. Not even a whole repeat yet of it. So I've got my cuff and then the yarn, and this is a good example to show you guys how I do it. I have 2 circular needles, and I know all the yarn being attached on the ends is really confusing, but I do my socks on 2 circular needles. They're, I think, 24 inches long, instead of like magic loop or 9-inch circulars. 9-inch circular I cannot do. My hands are far too large. I need more needle to touch my fingers to do that. So I like doing this. I do the 2 at a time on 2 circulars until I hit my heels, and then at that point I remove one sock, put it onto a 32-inch circular, and do magic loop to do the flap, the turn, and then the gusset. And then once I've got the gusset done, I move it back to the 2 circulars and repeat the process for the other sock. That's the only time they are done individually and not done in tandem. But that process seems to work for me. I can typically get a pair of socks done, even man socks like for my husband and now my dad, I can get them done in about 20 to 22 hours, which is not a whole lot. So if I'm dedicated, I can get that done in a week. So I'm hopeful to maybe have these done in the next week or so that I can get my December socks going on the 1st. Next, we got the little news, the miniature news section, which is called I'm calling it the whip status change section. I have, you notice in my whips I only have 2, which is a bit weird. That is because there have been some status changes. One is the Isa cardigan by Alexander Solowinok. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. And that is currently in hibernation. I literally did not work on it at all in the past month because of this, which is fine. I'm kind of stalling out on it. I'm not entirely sure if I actually really like it. I like the pattern, but I think the color is really throwing me off. I think having to do the thought of having to do that secondary post finished product process of dyeing it or attempting to dye it is kind of deterring me a little bit from working on it. And then the other status change was the Gadarene shawl I was working on in the hopes of having finished for my anniversary. That did not freaking happen, and I swear this yarn is just cursed. Like, that yarn, I just cannot find something to do with it. So I have resigned to that is being frogged. I'm not going to do the Gadarene because if I didn't, like, my heart was not in it. Like, it was beautiful, but my heart was not in it to do a massive shawl, and I needed the quick wins right now. So that is being frogged. I'm highly inclined to maybe do some kind of other yarn held double with that specific yarn and like make a blanket or something with it so that it actually freaking gets used, because it's killing me that I'm not using it. Or I very well could put it up as a contender for socks as well. because it is a very pretty yarn. It definitely needs to be something. I'm not getting rid of it, but I just am, once again, it's not doing what I want it to do, which is okay. So now on to future cast-ons. I have only one. I have one planned right now, just one, and another one is pending the spin. So if you guys recall, I just mentioned I'm doing one of my Felicis in the beginning of the month. So the first of the month, I cast on a new pair of Felici socks for that month. This month, it will be the Buddy color, like I said earlier, and these will be my Christmas socks. I do not know what I don't know what contrast heel I'm going to do for these yet. I might pull one of my Patons Kroy colors, or I might pull from the mini bag and see if I have something in there that goes well with these. But we shall see. I don't know yet. And then I should have because like mid-month, I should have the opportunity to do my rando wheel spin, like the app on my phone, if you recall, that picks the random second color for the month. And I will be doing that. I don't know what color it's going to pick. I pre-spun the wheel. I'm not so sure about the color that the one that it picked. So I might do it again, because my yarn, my knitting, I can do what I want like that. And that's, yeah, so that's the future cast-ons. Alrighty, folks, so we are now getting into acquisitions and stash enhancement and reduction, and there's not a whole lot of reduction. There's yeah, girl went a little bonkers again. So I'm gonna show you all of these in the order in which I ordered or purchased them. Because there's a lot. Like there is a box plus this bag, plus my little panda bag. And this is I only have written down my actual yarn acquisitions, but I did get a couple of goodies that I want to show you for like my anniversary and the trip itself. So first I will show you the I'll show you the project bag that my husband got me for anniversary. And he got this from the Bags by Awesome Granny. And I was recommended that Bags by Awesome Granny, Bags by Knit All the Yarn podcast. She really likes those bags, so I thought I'd give it a shot and put this on my list. It's a Sasquatch bag, because I live in the Pacific Northwest and Bigfoot's real. This is a little nice little Sasquatch bag, and it's like the perfect size to be doing some socks in. So it might be one of those rotating sock bags or something small beyond a sock. And then I also had this on my list, and it's covered in dog hair as usual. It's a small makeup bag that has dinosaurs all over it, because I am finding in my 30s, because I'm healing the inner child, I'm liking dinosaurs quite a bit. So he got me this little bag. And it's definitely like a padded, meant for travel, for your makeup, and I don't wear all that many products anyway, so they'll all fit in here. So very excited about that. I might make it into a notions bag. Probably not. I might actually use it as a makeup bag. But either way, it's really cute, and I'm very happy about that. That was my anniversary present. I did get a whole lot more stuff that's definitely not yarn related, or yarn and whatnot related. Like when we were on our trip, but that I'm not going to show you those. They're not yarn related, so it's not necessary. Okay, so first thing, before we went on our trip, I put in, so shortly after, sorry, we're getting into the yarn now. Like almost immediately after going to Flock and Fiber in Albany last month, I think I mentioned to you guys that I really liked the Hava some yarns, and I liked her colors and everything. So I went on her website, and she has a color of the month, and I purchased that before October was even finished, or like early November. No, it was early October or late October, and because of her schedule, if you don't order the yarn, the color of the month by the 7th of the month, it doesn't ship until the late, like, second half of the month or even early in the next month. So this did not ship until after I was already gone on my trip. But this is her October color, Mold October. It was supposed to be like kind of like mulled wine, and it's just a really nice, neutrally, very autumnal, and I'm digging it. I'm very excited. I really liked her base for the Cranberry Mojito for my mom's socks, so I think I'm going to continue to purchase her monthly ones. I've already purchased them in November, and hopefully that will ship in the next few days. I have a reminder on my phone to start purchasing them the first of every month, so I will be getting next month's. So by the time I record next month, I will have at least two skeins saved for anything that comes in for Christmas. I don't think Mutts is supposed to come in for Christmas, but we'll see. And then before we went on our trip, one of the shops that I really like to purchase from did an update, and that's the Sock Obsession yarns that I've used quite a few of their yarns, and I really like them, especially she does a 150 gram merino cashmere nylon blend skein, so it's like you get 600 yards instead of this classic like 400, 420, whatever. So she had a shipping requirement or whatever, so I ended up getting four skeins and a mini. So this is one of her mini skeins on her 75/25 base in the color Witchy. It's just a really deep, nice purple. This will go into the minis, the contrast minis pouch on my new hanger. And then this is her 2-ply 75/25 merino nylon in the color Sugar Rush. So this is a whole bunch of fun colors, pinks, blues. I think the thing I like about Sock Obsession yarns is that her stuff is really bright and really colorful, and she does a lot of that variegated speckled stuff. It's just I like her stuff a lot. Despite having only used it a couple times for socks, but I like her 2-ply quite a bit. So these will likely be socks, or I might make it into a muscle burra or a cowl of some kind, or even a freaking a shawl of some point, or I might mix it into something else or something. I don't know. I might make a freaking dinosaur out of it. I don't know. It's my yarn. I can do what I want with it. And then the larger part of the order was 3 skeins of her merino cashmere nylon, so 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon, 2-ply. Each skein is 150 grams or 600 yards, and this is in the Archie and La La Land color. And as you can probably guess, you know why I got these, because it's teal and gray and has pops of purple everywhere and the yellow, and yeah, it's a very fun color. I'm hoping to do probably a sweater out of this at some point. But it's super soft and very lovely, and I am quite happy with it. So those will be a thing at some point. And then while on the trip, if I can get them out, while on my trip, we happened across we took one of our days, and sadly, a lot of the days we were on our vacation, there was like a horrible storm going on. At one point, there was actually like a tornado warning because we were staying on the coast, and it was really, really windy, and the water was nuts. But it was beautiful. But it was, oh my gosh, the water was so angry. Beautiful, but angry. But one of the days we were there, we ended up going down, I think going like 30 or so minutes south to a little town called Waldport. Because we were staying like somewhere north of Newport, and we went down to Waldport because I found a bakery and there's also a yarn store. And the yarn store was called Twisted Tidewater. So if you're ever in, like, going along the Oregon coast or whatever, and you happen upon Waldport, there is a lovely little bakery there that does sourdough and a whole bunch of treats that were really tasty. I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but and then there's also Twisted Tidewater, which is a indie dyer owned yarn shop with a whole bunch of notions and stuff like that. So I have yarns and some little goodies. I'll show you in here in a second. None of her yarn colors have names, unfortunately, so it was a little hard to like put them in my Ravelry, but I got 2 of her 75/25 merino nylon mini skeins in like this pinky purple and a blue, shocker. And these will go into the mini pile for socks. And then I got 2 of her full-size skeins, and they're essentially kind of the same in terms of palette, but one is blue and one is red based. So it's just they're kind of moody, and the red one was giving me fall vibes, and the blue was kind of giving me like coastal, like Oregon coast kind of vibe because of the green from the trees, and then the kind of blue color from the ocean and the sky. So I thought they were good, like good souvenir skeins. There we go. That's the word I look for. And then I have my little goodies. So one of them, they have the cutest little coasters. I found a knitting crab coaster. So, you know, I will be using this from now on. This is going downstairs on our side table. This is my coaster. My husband got one that has Bigfoot on it. But I've been wanting a knitting crab kind of thing for so long. So now I have it. It's adorable. I'm so happy. I got one of their stickers. Tidewater Creations. We put the woo in wool and wood. A cute little sticker. Put that in my sticker collection. And then I don't know if I'm able to show you these accurately. She has this thing. It's just this massive like tray of individual stitch markers, and I think there were like 3 for $5 or something. So I got a bunch of stitch markers. So I got a little sheepy, itty bitty little sheep, and then got myself, to no one's surprise, a little crab, a little bitty crab. And then, because I was south of Newport, where all the seals are, I got a seal. Like a sea lion. Yeah, so I got a couple new stitch markers, which will go into my stitch marker container, sticker, and also the knitting crab, which will go downstairs. The shop was super, super cute. So if you're ever down in Waldport, go. So, and then the other thing that happened whilst we were on vacation, I reached out to a few, so, okay, hold on, because this is the part that's going to take forever. If you recall the plan for the Felici jelly roll blanket, so obviously I don't have enough Felici to start that. I also haven't worked through enough of it, but I also wanted to get my hands on older colors if I could. So I did the Ravelry thing and went into the Felici yarn, went into Stash, and then looked into Will Seller Trade. And I bought 3 people's stashes of Felici. Like their entire stash of Felici. The first one is the largest. The other 2 are relatively small. They were only like maybe like half a dozen skeins. This one was 22. The first one I purchased while we were on vacation was 22 total balls of Felici. And here's the even weirder part, and I'm going to point this out now before I get to the other 2 D-stashes. One of the D-stashes that I got later in the month, they like it was only like 3 single skeins. 2 of them are the same dye lot as ones I got in this first batch. So my universal luck struck again, and I got the same dye lot for 3 skeins for all those. So, but I'll show you those now. All the different colors I got. I'm probably not gonna pull out the like both balls. I'll pull out just one so you see the color of it. I apologize for crinkles. There's a bag that has to be unzipped. So in this bag, there are 3 skeins of Hot Shot, which I think was from 2020, and 3 skeins of Chickadee, which, if I'm correct, my research was is from 2016. So that's already 6 of the 22 skeins in that one bag. So, and then there's the box. Why am I vibrating? Okay. So in this box there is 1 skein of Pinwheel, 1 skein of Dragon Boat, and then 2 each of everything else. So I've got Red Rocks, which is mostly yellow. This is gonna be really difficult to get these back in here. Oh my god. And then there's Lasso. And also Arcade Afternoon. I know I'm showing this really fast. I'm sorry, guys. I am on a time crunch. I've got about probably 15-20 more minutes before I need to be done. Because I have people coming over. And then there's also the Roommates color. And Bebop. And then Speed Racer. And finally, the color Solstice. Solstice is one that I got in a later batch. It's the same dye lot. By some friggin' miracle. I don't know how. But yeah, so those were the first D-stash that I purchased. Which I've never done. I've never purchased a D-stash before. And it was actually pretty simple. I have a couple more messages out to people on Ravelry because there's 2 specific people that have a lot of Felici, but they have not responded to me in the past month. Like, one of them I actually re-messaged, but as far as I can tell, she hasn't been active in a couple weeks. I'm hoping she sees my message because she's got a lot of colors I really want, but we shall see. So that was the box. That was the first D-stash. And then there are 2 more in this bag. So then the next one was 2 balls of Ribbit. Two balls of Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbows. Is that kind of muted rainbow? Actually, it's not technically 2 balls. It's 1 and some, which is fine. That doesn't bother me at all. It's like 1.6 balls or something. And then 2 of Grape Gatsby. And 1 of Coffee Break, which is really pretty. And then the third, this one's in a bag again, sorry guys. The third and final D-stash was only 3 skeins. three skeins, two of which are colors I already got, but the same dye lot. So I got one more Grape Gatsby, one more of Bebop, or not Bebop, Solstice, and then this other one, the single skein of Augie. And that's a new color. Yeah. So that was all of the enhancements. So in total, I added 2,490 grams. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So my socks was 71 grams, my husband's socks were 71 grams, my mom's socks were 63 grams, my Marbre was 616 grams, and then my sock yarn cowl was 40 grams, so a total of 861 grams out. So I'm sadly a net positive of 1,000, net positive of 1,629 grams. Ugh. The last couple months have not been good. And like I said, end of the month is not great for my yarn purchasing and all that. Not great. But I'm already pre-planning, like, I'm really hoping that because I've been more mindful about my purchases this year, that I will be able to purchase less next year and work more from my stash and make things from my stash and bring it down, hopefully. The stash down continues, y'all. The stash down continues. I think that's it for all the yarny stuff, so I guess we're gonna get into the weight loss and anxiety stuff now. So content warning for those who don't want to listen to that. See you next time. So weight is kind of fluctuating. I'm hanging in that 250, 248 range, which is fine. Still on the phentermine, really low dose. It's definitely messing with my sleep a bit, so I'm not sleeping super great. But I'm working on that. I'm trying to find ways to mitigate it, so sleepy time teas and trying to go to bed earlier and things like that. This month has not been great for eating. Has been great for eating. Vacation was not a lot of crap, but like, because I wasn't in my home, I didn't have access to as much of the stuff that I normally do. I did try and keep snacking to a minimum. I tried to really listen to my body in terms of when it was hungry and when I wasn't hungry. So I didn't overeat and get any like weird stomach pains. I did the same thing on Thanksgiving. Pretty much like did pretty good. I stayed away from a lot of stuff. I didn't consume a whole crap ton on the charcuterie boards or like all the appetizers. I really didn't touch all that much. I had just the one plate with a little bit of everything. I was really happy with that. I didn't force myself to finish everything. I think my portion control was pretty good. I think I did pretty good. We'll see how today goes, because today we are doing a like grandparents only Thanksgiving, because like this kind of leads into anxiety a little bit. I haven't spoken to my grandparents, my grandparents on my mom's side, in like a year. Like I haven't seen them since last summer, and sadly that was my own fault. I made the decision last year to stop speaking to them because I did not ask enough questions and I fell into the usual BS with my mom of she's mad at someone, I'll be mad at them too, without really asking questions or context. And as I've learned this past year, like I really need to do that, and I'm on this part of my therapy journey where I'm just like, I want to be able to have these meaningful conversations with people, and especially family, and and be more authentic with my family. Like I want to be more authentic. I spent the last 4 or 5 years now, almost 5 years, going through this therapy journey so that I can be my most authentic self and not hide who I am and my opinions and my views, because I'm an adult and I'm allowed to have those views and opinions, and regardless if you agree with me or not. And I have shrunk myself and kept quiet about a lot of things because of my anxiety and not wanting to rock the boat and my being a recovering people pleaser. So I made the decision after my last therapy appointment to actually call my grandma and apologize for not speaking to her, because I was under the impression that my grandfather had chosen my uncle and his daughter last Thanksgiving when we were hosting my mom and my dad and my stepdad. And I like, I was under the impression they had just chosen him. Chose my for context, my uncle's not the greatest person. I'm trying to give him a second chance and like really and bring him into the family stuff and like make my own decisions of what family I'm with and whatnot, and not let my mom influence that. But I didn't ask for information, and unbeknownst to me, my grandmother had a terrible fall and could not move, so there was no way in hell she was going to drive 2 hours to my house last year, and I didn't know that. My mom neglected to tell me, and I didn't ask, and I thought that they were just doing it for him, and I didn't even think about the other component of that he has a young daughter who is being split between her parents. Her parents are fucking insane. Her mother is nuts. Like, my uncle's baby mama is a special type of insane. Not like legal, not like institutionalized insane, but just that sadly she is the type to weaponize her child against her ex kind of person. Like, her oldest daughter has a lot of development, like a lot of problems in my mind about, you know, how kids should develop and whatnot, and it didn't occur to me until this year when I finally am kind of settling in the whole of like, yes, I don't want my own kids, but that doesn't mean that I should be mean or dismissive of the children in my family or extended family. And that unfortunately was a view and behavior I had for the past couple of years of, I don't want kids, I just don't want to, I'm just gonna ignore them, I don't want anything to do with them. But it's like, or like, I don't want anything to do with them because I disagree with why their parent had them, or the fact that their parent had them to begin with. Like, that, I had this realization of, that's not on the kid. I cannot, I grew and realized, like, I am punishing a child for something that was completely outside their control. And I experienced that myself as a kid, being punished for something outside my control. And I realized, like, oh my god, I'm being literally every other adult and not seeing this child as a human being, and I'm not giving them the opportunity to understand what's going on and grow and, you know, communicate effectively and teach them how to communicate. Like I would if I were to have kids, or I hopefully will with nieces and nephews if my brother and sister-in-law have kids. They will, but who knows when. But I just had this moment, and realization of like, I cannot be mean to this little girl and ignore this little girl just because I think her dad's a bit of a nutball and her mom's nuts and they should not have had a child to begin with. Like, I cannot punish a child for something outside her control. She's completely innocent. I cannot do that. That's not right. So when I spoke to my grandmother, I told her like why my husband and I are not super inclined to have my uncle around. Mostly because him and my grandfather are not open to even hearing other sides of conversations, especially political. I was very honest with her. I was like, I want to be able to have conversations with you, but you don't allow us the space to actually voice our opinion. Like, you don't respect us as adults. You keep seeing us as children, and we are no longer children. We are adults. We are 30. We pay bills. We own a home. Like, we are full-blooded adults, but we are not spoken to as adults. And she understood. I think she understood. And who knows how today's going to go. She and my grandfather might be open to communication or conversation. We shall see. As my therapist reminded me, and I'm trying to remind myself, it's okay if I don't share every bit of my personality and everything that I am with my grandparents. That's totally normal. You don't share everything with everybody. And as she's reminding me, that does not mean that it invalidates my full, like, real self-realization I've had over the last few years. Like, just because I don't share a part of myself with someone does not make me disingenuous, and it does not mean that I am not being honest with them. It's just, I'm just not sharing a part of myself with them, and that's okay, as I'm now learning. It's not all or nothing. It's not black and white. Typical. So I'm hopeful that the dinner tonight will go good. My grandmother was really happy to hear from me, and I think was really grateful to get an explanation of why I haven't spoken to her. Because I miss my grandparents a lot. My grandparents were a big support for me during my parents' divorce, and I miss them like crazy, and I'm really excited to see them. So I'm looking forward to them being up here, and I'm looking forward to feeding them. So, and my husband has been a huge help. We got our lights up. I'm gonna have to put a picture or something. I might have to get one of the pictures of my husband, or I might just take a picture of it. I found Christmas Stegosaurus. Like Christmas or like outdoor, indoor, or like tree, not tree, but it's literally like a little wire frame covered in green, and it has little light spikes, and it's just the cutest little, it's my Christmas Stegosaurus decoration, and I'm really happy about it. So yesterday my husband and I put the lights up, which we have not done literally since the first year we were in the house. Like, we have not put lights up since 2021. It's been 4 years since we put lights up. Like, we weren't doing it. We haven't, we have not been in the Christmas spirit. Like, our Christmas tree has not been up for the last 2 years, but like, we got the Christmas tree out, and we're really happy about, I'm happy about it. And like, it's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. It's holiday time. I'm in a much better place. So I'm really excited to celebrate and be happy. So I think I have to end it there. I'm literally at an hour, and I need to go finish up things and make a charcuterie board. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave me your comments and let me know what you thought was prettiest, where you're from. I love knowing where you guys are from. And thank you for being here. I'm very happy you're here. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.